Alright, I just had a hearing with West Milwaukee on Zoom, right over here. First, I talked to the judge for a little bit, and I think, I can't remember the exact details, but she decided to put me in direct contact with the prosecutor. Let's see, what's his name? I got Mr. Christopher Schultz. So I'm gonna have to look at who he is. Christopher Schultz. He's been a total mystery that up until this point, who my prosecutor is. And now I know it's Christopher Schultz. And we talked about him just offering me a deal. And I told him that I'm pleading not guilty and that I want to see the evidence. He told me I don't have a right to the evidence. And then, I'm kind of breaking up what exactly occurred, but I don't have a right to the evidence. And he cited civil law. So they're focusing on this as being a civil matter. He cited 800 something. I'll have to look up the evidence for that. I looked at them both for criminal and civil, that it's 800 something. So he argues that I don't have a right to see the evidence, that I should just do a FOI request. I told him that the cops want $600 for what I asked. So it's excessive, and I'm not willing to pay that. So he tried to offer something about dropping one of the tickets. So that was his best offer. He'll drop one of the tickets. And I'm just like, no. Let's see, I'm just trying to remember what we had some back and forth about the me not needing evidence, that he's gonna bring the officer and the details. He cited me like the details of the event. He was like, oh, you were here and the cops saw you and arrested you for being here illegally, for loitering and prowling. And I asked him if he was testifying, and he said, no, we're in the breakout room, because the judge wasn't there. It was just me and the prosecutor. But I'm like, okay, you're telling me this stuff, but where's your evidence? Okay, and he's insisting that I don't have a right to see the evidence, but that he has a right to present it all at trial. And I insist that I need to be able to see it. And this is just between me and him with the evidence. I can get, he's not a records keeper, all right? He says that it's not his duty to give me the evidence. And this is, he's taken the civil aspect of it. And I repeat once again, this forfeiture law is hovering between criminal and civil, and they're citing civil stuff. They're citing civil law for Wisconsin, when really it should be criminal. But they're focusing on civil because it works more in their favor. But I mean, in reality, you can't stray away from the criminal aspect of this, because this isn't a plaintiff and is it still plaintiff and defendant? It's not two plaintiffs in a civil matter. It's the prosecutor and a defendant. So them trying to focus on the civil aspect, I think, is going to fall apart. All right, I'm trying to get them moving in the proper direction for this, because this is more, for me, it's more criminal than civil. I was put in handcuffs. What civilian can put the other civilian in handcuffs and then make charges like this? The best they could do is just let them. They have to let them go. Or, you know, if somebody's acting under the color of law and bringing charges against you, then it's a criminal thing. But yeah, in the beginning, they asked me how I was doing, and I said I was stressed, and he's like, "Oh, let me make it easy for you." He likes to hear that. Oh, hey, Travis is stressed. That's great. That works in my favor. I'm a defendant. I'm not just a plaintiff. A stressed defendant is one who will plead quickly. Okay, but I don't do that. I'll just let the stress destroy me. I'll let the stress eat me up. But yeah, he insists that I don't have a right to evidence, that I need to go through the police because the prosecutor is, well, he said he's just a city attorney. Well, either way, he's also taking on prosecutor roles, and he says that he will get the evidence, and apparently I don't have a right to it. And I insist. I told him, whatever you get, I want to see before my trial. All right, that's my right. And then he asked me if I recorded, and he was like, asked, what's the difference between your cameras and our cameras? And I just gave a quick answer. I was like, the angles are different. Because I did rattle through the reasons for the body cams, why they're useful. I have 8 reasons that ChatGPT put out. And so he was like, okay, that's about the same. And we got the judge. The judge came into the breakout room. I don't know, like I was in the judge's room, and then I moved to, it's all Zoom stuff, and I moved to the breakout room with the prosecutor. Then the judge comes into the breakout room herself, and we're all off record because this is a municipal thing, and we start discussing me trying to get evidence, and the judge kind of says that I don't have a right to it, but we can have a hearing over the evidence. So we have another hearing scheduled for September 17th, and I need to get she insisted that I send in a motion explaining what I asked for from the police that caused them to charge an exorbitant fee of $600, and it'll show that I asked for more than maybe considered reasonable, but that's their opinion. My opinion is I want everything. I mean, it's simple. I want to be able to see everything from a full perspective with wide, I want, they say wide open eyes. I want extra wide open eyes. So this prosecutor brought up to the judge that, there's not much difference between, because the police have in their report, which I didn't see. I haven't seen anything they wrote down. And the prosecutor says that it's not evidence. So that was interesting. I mean, yeah, I agree. But I insisted once again, this was in front of the judge, that anything that you bring before the to trial, I have to see beforehand. So we're going to discuss that on September 17th. But the judge asked me very keenly that I submit a motion showing what I asked the police for. All right, specifically, she wants to know. And I might have that somewhere. I had to write it down. I know I took pictures of it. I have to find those pictures because it was all, I have to show her what I submitted to the police in writing, and it was all in writing, because the only way you can submit public records request is by pen and paper, so I'll just have to get those. I took pictures of it, just maybe put them in a little PDF and then send them to her court clerk. But yeah, we're going to have a hearing now about the evidence, whether I deserve to see it. They're going to look at it from a civil aspect. I'm looking at it from a criminal aspect. So, I mean, evidence in Wisconsin is not a right, and that's ridiculous. Evidence is not a right. And it's just like all this stuff that they're going to bring to court, to trial. It's like they're saying that I don't have a right to see it until the trial date. And yeah, I mean, I want to make some good arguments in favor of me needing to be able to see it beforehand. I'll have to do some research on that. But I mean, I mean, as far as I understand, this isn't just a civil thing where two parties are suing each other. I got arrested. I got taken down to the police station. I mean, this was a full criminal process the whole way. So, yeah, we talked for a little bit, and we're going to talk again, and that'll be hearing number 2, and then and maybe another hearing, who knows, and then a trial date at some point. But the next hearing is not a trial date, so just take it step by step.